Messi will be coming to the MLS as he has announced he will be joining David Beckham's Inter Miami. The Nuggets take a 2-1 series lead in the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. West Ham has won a European competition. CP3 and Dalvin Cook both getting waived by their teams. And we know that there's playoff excitement in the Vegas air. But what's going on in the Vegas skies? Let's get into the crossover. So Lionel Messi has been making news as of recently when he announced that he will be leaving PSG at the end of this past season. And everybody wanted him. Everybody in the world was trying to sign him. And he had a $1 billion deal on the table to join a Saudi Arabian side. But that all came to an end when Messi came out yesterday in an interview, said it wasn't about the money, said he was unhappy at PSG, he was missing out on family time, he just wasn't happy, and he has decided he will be joining the MLS and joining Inter Miami. Now let's take a look at this contract real quick, because I've never seen a contract structured like this. There are so many parties, so many things coming into play. So Lionel Messi from Adidas will be getting part of sale profits on shirts. Now I don't know if that's just his own shirts. I don't know if that's all MLS shirts. More details will be coming out as the deal slowly gets revealed. He will be getting parts of brand new subscribers to Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. So we've got Adidas, we've got Apple all coming into the mix. And he will be getting part of Inter Miami, the club that is owned by David Beckham. And he will also have the right to buy a future expansion team in the MLS. Now, when I first looked at this, I said, how is he going to be part owner of Miami and have another team? How is that going to work, being an owner of two teams that are in the same league? But the more I thought about it, I'm assuming he's going to sell off the shares that he has in Inter Miami. And with the money that he gets from those shares, he'll just buy a brand new expansion team. So he'll basically be getting a team for free in the MLS. And as contracts just get crazier and crazier across every single league, you're going to start seeing more of this, more of ownership, players owning clubs. It's an exciting time. It's extremely exciting in the MLS right now, I'll tell you that. As Messi's announcement had an instant impact to every team in the league. Ticket prices for MLS matches have gone through the roof. Okay? I am a loyal supporter of the New York Red Bulls. They're my hometown team. I go to almost every game. So I was looking through Ticketmaster. Most games are like $20, $30. So pretty affordable. You buy yourself a ticket, you go over there, you end up spending more on beer than you do on the ticket itself. It's a fun environment. It's a fun atmosphere. So I personally enjoy going to almost every New York Red Bull game. And within 20 minutes, when I tell you 20 minutes, I was scrolling through Instagram. I saw, Lionel Messi has signed for Inter Miami. My first thought was, I need to get tickets to this game now, right? I need to see Messi. And within 20 minutes, the tickets that were $20 to the New York Red Bulls versus Inter Miami game had skyrocketed to $500. And now, this isn't just the New York Red Bulls. This is every single team across the MLS. The ticket prices have gone through the roof. I posted a TikTok about it. And everybody from all different teams were commenting, oh my God, I had these tickets in my cart literally 2 days ago, and now they're gone. I should have bought it. This is so bad. I could have made so much money. Inter Miami actually had to stop selling tickets to any of their future matches. And once you saw that they stopped selling their tickets, you just knew that the ticket prices were going to skyrocket. Inter Miami's tickets went from $29 to $477 to just get into the door. Now, Inter Miami Stadium is pretty small. They are playing currently at a temporary stadium before they start on their new massive stadium that they're building down there in South Florida. So to Inter Miami fans, season ticket holders are happy right now. They can either make their money back or just go to every single game because they've already got tickets. But you're going to have to pay a pretty penny if you're going to go on and watch an Inter Miami game. I saw talks of having to move to NFL stadiums for away games. So, like, let's say when Inter Miami comes to play the New York Red Bulls, instead of playing those games out at Red Bull Arena, actually moving it to MetLife Stadium, which I don't personally think it's going to happen, but that would be insane. Can you just imagine, as a player, you move to a league and they have to start moving it to bigger stadiums because everybody wants to see you? Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a possibility, and if it were to happen, that'd be so cool. Followers for Inter Miami. Inter Miami had 1 million followers before the announcement of Lionel Messi, and since has skyrocketed to 6 million followers. The picture I'm going to put right here, it's at 5.5, but currently right now, if you go on it, they have 6 million followers. They went from 1 million to 6 million, which means they have more followers than any NFL, MLB, NHL, or other MLS team. The only teams that got them beat out is like the Warriors and the Lakers, and those all have like 30 million followers on Instagram. But Miami's brand has just gone through the roof. But kind of the funnier part that I'm finding in these screenshots is, yeah, you see them going from 1 million to 5.5 million in the screenshots, but you also saw that they unfollowed 4 people, and I'm kind of interested to find out who are those 4 people that they unfollowed. They're like, now we have Messi now. You're unfollowed. You're no longer worthy. You can't talk to us. As Messi has now joined Inter Miami, the rumors are going crazy. We have Luis Suarez to Inter Miami rumors, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, Di Maria, which personally kind of hits home because there was a little bit of rumblings of Di Maria going back to Benfica, which is my team in Portugal, which I was kind of excited for. But apparently now he could be moving to Inter Miami. Otamendi could be coming to Miami. Koke and Griezmann were at the Inter Miami game last night, and they were given shirts. Griezmann's hair was already pink. What does this mean? I don't know. Is everybody coming to Inter Miami? Is the old Barcelona team all just moving to Inter Miami? I have no idea, but I just know that Messi absolutely shook up the league, shook up world football, and I'm excited to see what's going to be going down in Inter Miami. But kind of getting lost in all this, or not lost, but something that I'm kind of paying attention to is David Beckham, man. David Beckham's contract when he first came to the LA Galaxy, he was kind of the first big name player to join the MLS. At the time, his contract was structured kind of in a way like Messi, like he was going to be getting a piece of everything sold at the stadium, a piece of tickets, a piece of every hot dog, every beer, everything. He was making money all over the place, and he had the right to buy an expansion team for $25 million. So over 5 years, David Beckham actually ended up making $255 million on his contract with the LA Galaxy. Bought Inter Miami at $25 million. Inter Miami now valued at $600 million. $600 million, so the profit on that is absolutely insane. $575 million. He's already doubled what he made from playing in the league, just with Inter Miami and MLS and all these clubs going up in value. And now with Beckham joining and all these other players possibly joining and the ticket sale prices going up, Inter Miami could quite honestly reach $1 billion valuation, which means that for 5 years in the MLS, David Beckham could have gotten paid almost $3 billion, which is absolutely insane to think about, especially at the time that he joined. Numbers like that would be unreal. Now, of course, there was a $1 billion offer to Messi, but Messi in the long run could be looking at something like David Beckham in years down the road. If the MLS goes well, if he does start a team, Messi could be looking at $2, $3, $4 billion. Again, it's probably a reach, but it's possible. So Messi to the MLS is absolutely confirmed. It shook up the league. It shook up everything. Everybody wants to come play with Messi now. Suarez, Busquets, Jordi Alba. The MLS is looking up. Shout out Apple. Shout out Adidas for coming together, putting this together for the MLS. And the MLS is on the way up. And if anybody out there has a ticket to the New York Red Bulls versus Inter Miami game, hook a brother up because I am not paying $500. That's for sure. Now, let's move into the NBA. The Nuggets blow out Inter Miami. Here we go. The Nuggets blow out the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. Wasn't looking good for Miami. Kind of just flat. They scored, I think it was like 90-something points. Just not good enough. Jokic has an historic night as he becomes the first player to score over 30, get over 20 rebounds, and get over 10 assists in a finals game. First player to ever do that. In the post-game interview after, he said he didn't really care for that. All he cared about was the team winning. Jamal Murray, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Christian Braun, or Brown, or however you pronounce it, came out of nowhere. Seemingly, I hadn't heard of him before. 15 points. But I feel like this is kind of just what the Denver Nuggets are. They fly under the radar. They're not really on TV, especially over here out on the East Coast. Apparently, the Denver Nuggets game don't even get played in their own domestic market. I feel like they don't get much coverage in the West, but they just play the game the right way. And I feel like through this whole playoff experience, you're seeing it. You get sweeps. They lost one game in one of their series. They hadn't lost a home game in the playoffs until 2 games ago when they lost to the Miami Heat. But absolutely insane here from the Denver Nuggets. I got to give him my respect. Jokic, just what you want to be in a superstar. He doesn't want the attention. He gave all credit to Christian Brown, I guess is how you pronounce it. Said that he's the reason that they won. Didn't really care for his own personal achievements. Again, there's a little bit of back and forth between him and Embiid. Embiid seemed like he won the MVP out in Philly, and that's all he cared about. Jokic, the complete opposite, putting on a show in the finals, putting on for his city. But the highlight of the night, and probably one of the funnier parts of the night that I saw, was Strus running into Neymar. Neymar just sitting there, and Strus just comes crashing into him. Pogba also at the game, of course. Star-studded Shakira, DJ Khaled, everybody was there having a good time down in Miami. So 2-1 Nuggets. Hopefully Miami can win Game 4 here. Go back to Denver. We have a close little matchup here. But honestly, if Miami were to lose the next game and they go down 3-1 going into Denver, it could be 5 games. Nuggets could win it easy against Miami. They kind of slipped up in the third and fourth quarter there late in Denver for Game 2. Miami Heat got to come out, got to put on. But again, Miami's also been doing this all playoffs. They've been down. They've came back. So let's see what happens here in Game 4. But the Nuggets currently are up. Keeping with some playoff hockey, the Panthers Game 3 is tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. And man, South Florida sports right now. Messi just announced Miami in the NBA Finals. The Panthers in the NHL Final. The Panthers are down 2-0. Best of luck to the Panthers. That's coming up here tonight. West Ham United have won the Conference League, which to me is just funny because Tottenham. Okay, that's all I'm going to say is Tottenham. Paqueta's pass, absolutely beautiful to Bowen's last-minute goal. West Ham has won. Declan Rice announced today that, West Ham announced that they're giving Declan Rice the right to leave. Declan Rice was probably already going to leave regardless. He was on his way out. Interesting to see where Declan Rice is going to go. Probably going to stay in the Prem, but shout out to West Ham. 2 stories that I covered yesterday. The first being the White Sox and Yanks and the Phillies and Tigers both ended up getting postponed because of the sky conditions, because of the air quality conditions, both in New York and in Philadelphia. So both of those ended up getting rescheduled. Now, this is kind of interesting. The White Sox and the Yankees. The White Sox and Yankees are going to play a game today at 4:05 and then play a game at 7:35. Now, usually when you see a doubleheader in baseball, you're going to see a game at 1 p.m. and a game at 7 p.m., but with the pitch clock this year, I guess they have that confirmation that it's gonna be a shorter game. It's gonna be 2.5 hours, so it's probably gonna be done by 6:35. The players will have an hour to rest and eat and do whatever they have to do, and then they'll be out by 7:35. But it's basically, you're not even gonna take your uniform off. You're gonna go into the dugout. You're gonna do whatever you have to do, and you're gonna come right back out. But the White Sox and Yankees, which yesterday was at the time I was recording, kind of in limbo about whether or not they were going to play. They didn't play. The Tigers and the Phillies also didn't play. Now, the Phillies are playing the Tigers today as well at 6:05. Today was supposed to be Phillies off/travel day because they do have to be in LA tomorrow to play the Dodgers. I don't know if it got moved back. It's at 10 o'clock Eastern time, which is 7 LA time. I don't know if it was supposed to be an earlier game and it did get moved back, but it did get postponed. The Phillies kind of got screwed in this situation because they're losing out on a travel day and a rest day, but it is what it is. Lynx versus Liberty also got postponed, which I was kind of surprised because Lynx and Liberty, they're going to be playing indoors, but I guess they didn't want people being outside with the air quality. I don't know if it actually got into the arena. I don't know that situation there, but the Lynx and Liberty also did get postponed yesterday. Today, it's looking a little bit better. It's the best that it's been outside in the last 3 days, so hopefully this whole situation is behind us. Hopefully everybody in Canada is okay. But that's just a little wrap up on that situation yesterday. And another situation we talked about yesterday was ELLY CRUZ. ELLY CRUZ is wasting no time in the MLB. We saw he got his first hit yesterday, which was a double that absolutely popped off of his bat at 112 miles an hour. And then, or 2 days ago it was, and then yesterday comes out and shoots a moonshot to the last row of the last section in right field. Absolute moonshot, 2-run home run for ELLY CRUZ. And then he showed off his speed later in the game with a triple. Ended up going 2 for 4. So hats off to ELLY CRUZ. He came in hot. He's staying hot. We're hoping nothing but the best for him. And hopefully Cincinnati can rally behind this. And keeping it with baseball, this is a story that I recently heard about. I hadn't really known who this guy was, but Ben JOYCE, man. Ben JOYCE, 22-year-old rookie, relief pitcher for the Angels from Knoxville, Tennessee, purebred American. He's got 80 big league pitches, 80 big league pitches, 57 of which have been 101 miles an hour or faster. He struck out Yordan Alvarez on 3 pitches at 103, 101, and 102. He struck out Jose Altuve at 102, 102, and 101. Jose Altuve left with no words, just looked back, kind of smiled at him, gave him that little, who the hell is this guy kind of look. And in his last start, or in his last game, he did not go under 101 miles an hour. So absolutely just throwing heat. Ben JOYCE, welcome to the league. Hopefully he can be a little spark for the Angels here as well. And now going on to some free agency here, some players getting released. Dalvin Cook and Chris Paul have gotten released. Let's go into Dalvin Cook first. And when looking at this situation, I kind of saw this coming, and I feel like most people saw it coming because of the social media team. So now, the Minnesota Vikings social media team switched their little Twitter header, the picture that they have on top of their Twitter. And usually this happens every season. It's normal, you put your best players out there, you just make a nice little new graphic, and boom, that's a graphic for the year. But notably, we saw Alexander Mattison, who was the backup running back in Minnesota, out on that header, and we didn't see Dalvin Cook. So that kind of just started the whole speculation of, well, what's happening? Dalvin Cook was having trouble about whether he's going to get re-signed, whether he's going to get paid, whether he's not. And we now found out he has been waived. And shortly after being waived, he posted a picture of him dancing at Hard Rock Stadium, which is where the Miami Dolphins play. So the rumors and the speculation has started. Will Dalvin Cook be playing down in Miami? Again, Miami's got a very stacked running back room. They got Mostert, they got Jeff Wilson, and they just drafted Akane in the 3rd round. So will it be a good fit? I don't know. Will Miami be moving one of those players? I don't know. But for all intents and purposes, it seems right now that Dalvin Cook will be part of the Miami Dolphins and seems extremely excited to be that. Now, let's look at the Vikings. So the Vikings recently have gotten rid of Thielen, have gotten rid of Eric Kendricks, Cook, and Zadarius Smith. So Vikings, rebuild year, I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, but they certainly are getting rid of kind of their older players. These 4 players are going to amount to $24.5 million in dead cap space, which is not a good situation for the Vikings to be in, but it seems like there is a new direction that the Vikings want to go. Again, we've got that big question of whether Kirk Cousins is the quarterback of the future, whether he's not, what's going on with that situation. But I want to look at running backs, because I feel like the running back position as of late has kind of just been not really tossed to the side, but it's not getting as much of the attention and is not getting paid, that's for sure. If we look at 4 of the top running backs as of recently, Zeke got cut 2 years into his 6-year extension. Cook is now getting cut 2 years into his 5-year extension. Le'Veon Bell got cut 2 years into his 5-year extension, and Todd Gurley got cut before his extension even ever took place. So when you look at football right now, I feel like the running back position is kind of in a little weird situation. Saquon Barkley also in New York, trying to get paid from the Giants not wanting to pay him, the Giants franchise tagging him, Saquon not being happy about that, kind of a prove-it year for Saquon almost. Prove to us that you can stay healthy, that you can be productive, and then afterwards we'll give you the money that we think that you deserve. But the running back position just isn't getting paid. It seems like you just draft a running back, you use up his 4 years, maybe you pick up his 5th-year option, you use him for those 5 years, and you go out and you pick somebody new in the draft. Now, older running backs kind of on the way out. We saw that with Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson played late into his career, but he's kind of just getting tossed around, getting 1 year here, 1 year there. So running backs not really getting paid right now, and it's just an interesting situation to monitor, to look at. And Dalvin Cook possibly going to Miami. But what we do know is that Frank Gore has just signed with the Broncos. I actually just saw this before I started recording. Frank Gore will be signing with the Broncos. I think it's a good move for both sides. I feel like Sean Payton has kind of the direction that he knows that he wants to go in with the Broncos. I feel like Frank Gore is a good addition to whatever team it is in the NFL, and I think this will be a good little marriage here. But when I saw this Frank Gore news, I kind of just made my head start to kind of wonder, what if Sean Payton gets aggressive and goes out and gets Dalvin Cook? Now, we know that Javonte Williams is in Denver, but he did get hurt last year. They're monitoring kind of his progression. They're seeing how he's going to come back from this injury. I think it could be cool to see Cook under Sean Payton. I don't know if it's going to happen, but when I saw Broncos, I just thought about that. So, Dalvin Cook, let's keep an eye out to see where he goes. Hopefully he gets paid, and hopefully everybody turns out well here. On to the second player that has also been waived and will not be coming back to their team is Chris Paul and the Suns. So now the Suns have made a lot of moves this offseason. They just recently got rid of Monty Williams, their head coach. Monty Williams obviously kind of grew into the limelight when he grabbed this 19-win Suns team and within 2 years had him in the finals. But now Monty Williams has been moved on from in Phoenix. He has signed with Detroit, so he's got a new program, a new project to kind of work on. And the Suns have gone ahead and hired Frank Vogel from the Lakers. Obviously, the Suns were a bit disappointing last year. They picked up KD, and with KD, Booker, and Chris Paul, they were supposed to make this big run for the NBA Finals. It didn't end up materializing, but they do have KD and Booker. Now, being that Frank Vogel just recently got announced, I can't help but feel like Chris Paul being moved on from has to kind of be a Frank Vogel decision. I don't know if it's his GM's decision. I think it's Frank Vogel's decision. And I've seen some rumors here on the internet now that Marcus Smart could be on his way to Phoenix for Chris Paul. I personally don't see that happening, but for the Celtics, it could kind of make sense getting some veteran leadership into that team that is very good. But I feel like Marcus Smart provides a lot of that dog out in Boston. I would love to see CP3 in Boston getting that reunion with Blake Griffin, but again, Blake Griffin also really not playing. But it seems like the most probable situation right now is CP3 going to the Lakers. I love it. I think CP3 could provide a lot to the Lakers. Is he going to be a starting point guard at this point in his career? I don't think so. But I think he could provide a lot for the Lakers, and I would love to see him playing alongside LeBron. And no matter where he goes, I just hope CP3 gets a ring. I feel like he's one of the most respected players out of everybody in the NBA. I feel like nobody really hates CP3. Everybody kind of loves him, and everybody thinks that he deserves a ring. At least I do. And I would love to see him get a ring, especially after a story that just recently broke where Chris Paul, talking on a podcast, I forget what podcast it was, did say that his daughter, when she goes to school, gets bullied by kids talking about, oh, your dad's never going to win a championship, your dad is trash, your dad is this. Absolutely unacceptable from those little twerps. So I would just love to see CP3 win a title, not just for him, but also so his daughter can go up to those little twerps in school and say, what now, my dad's got a ring. So let's hope CP3 gets out there. Let's hope he gets a contending team, and let's hope that CP3 gets himself a ring, because he definitely deserves it. Now, earlier in this episode, it's time for a little conspiracy corner here. Okay, let's put our aluminum hats on and get some conspiracy going here. We talked about Vegas in being that they're in the NHL playoffs and that they're 2-0 2-0 versus the Panthers. But a story that just broke today, and I don't know why it only broke today because it happened a month ago. Apparently, a UFO was caught crash landing on a police body cam. So for those of you who don't know, police wear a body cam on them that's always running, and this cop is like talking to somebody. I don't know. I don't really know about what, but you just see kind of like a light. It looks like a UFO just crash landing, and within 2 minutes, there's somebody calling 911 talking about something just crashed into my backyard, and there's two beings that are 10 feet tall, and they're walking around my backyard, and I don't know what to do. The police show up. They talk with these people. They say, yeah, we also just saw something crashing down. So I don't know what's going on here. Two 10-foot beings. You can see on the police body cam that responded to the house where this all went down. But it cuts off kind of mysteriously right before going into the backyard, because apparently it's private property, so they can't show the private property. I would have loved to see what is going on in that backyard. Apparently these beings disappeared within minutes. An SUV came, picked up everything that fell, and just drove off, and nobody ever heard about it until this police body cam did come about. And now that we're in the conspiracy corner, I don't want to say anything, but let's say I was an alien and I wanted to land my UFO or my whatever in like a big city, like let's say for example like New York City. If I was an alien wanting to land my UFO in the city, but I don't want to be seen. If I go at night, then the lights might be seen in the sky, so I don't want anybody to see me. So if I was an alien person, what I would do is I would just put a whole smoke screen across the whole city where visibility is very low. Nobody can really see anything. Everybody stay inside. There's a lot of smoke outside. I would just land my UFO and I would go around my business. But that's just me if I were an alien. And thankfully there's been no smoke screens above New York City as of recently, so we've got nothing to worry about. But that's been the crossover. That's been the crossover. Messi to Miami. Nuggets hot. We've got playoff hockey tonight. West Ham have won. CP3, Dalvin Cook on the move. And what's going on in Vegas? We may never find out. We're out of here.